Welcome to CNBC.com. I'm Frank Holland, anchor of Worldwide Exchange. The Arnold Palmer Invitational is teeing off in Orlando this week. Mastercard is a presenting sponsor, and directly from the greens, I'm joined by Mastercard's President of the Americas, Linda Kirkpatrick, to talk about consumer spending and how recent developments like tariffs are impacting that spending. Linda, hello. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Frank. Great to be here.
All right, so let's get into it. You're right there. You're on the greens. The Arnold Palmer Invitational teeing off this week. It's a very prestigious tournament, and it's also very meaningful for golf lovers to play their accounts towards the race for the PGA Championship. But why would a global payments company, why would you want to sponsor this tournament?
Yeah, Frank, we're incredibly excited to be here at this marquee event. This is our 21st year sponsoring this event, and it's a real opportunity to connect consumers with their passions. And as you can see behind me, the energy and the excitement around this tournament is palpable. We have so many of our consumers on site here at Bay Hill, 100,000 spectators that'll be joining the API this weekend to see all these incredible golfers play this game. And they are all part of the experiential spending economy. So as we think about connecting consumers with their passions, no better event than the API to bring that to life. We also use this as an opportunity to spotlight our technology and our innovation right here on the course. And we also bring small businesses here on the course to help amplify their brands and to connect their brands and bring them closer to all of these spectators. So many reasons. The Arnold and Winnie Palmer Foundation for many years has been supporting the local communities here in Orlando, and that connects so well to our mission of doing well by doing good.
Golf is often seen as a sport for the wealthy and the elite, and it appears, like you said, you're talking to consumers there and reaching into that demographic at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Over the last year, have you seen any big changes in how that group spends?
Yeah, we're seeing consumers in general are spending differently. They are, the consumer is incredibly nimble and engaged and also choiceful. They're choiceful in terms of finding value for how they're spending, looking for good digital means of making their transactions, and of course spending on experiences. And the experiential marketing ecosystem is alive and well. Again, here in Orlando, this event alone last year grew tourism, hospitality, and small business growth by quite a lot. Hotels in the local area last year saw their volumes grow by 8.5 percentage points. Restaurants saw their volumes grow by over 5 percentage points. And the small business community in and around the area benefited from additional commerce. So we love to see this event at the intersection of sports, technology, and commerce.
So you mentioned kind of experience spending. Are you continuing to see that trend where people are looking more to spend on experiences as opposed to goods? And how does that compare to years previous, just what you've seen over the last year?
Yeah, as I said, the consumer is incredibly choiceful. And choice is ruling the marketplace, and they're choosing to spend on airline, on hotel, on restaurant, to get experiences, both domestically and abroad, and that trend continues. It has been quite strong since the pandemic, and it continues post-pandemic.
How has inflation changed any of that? I mean, prices are considerably higher than they were before the pandemic. How have you seen the impact of inflation and higher prices?
Yeah, well, as I said, consumers are constantly looking for the best deals they possibly can. So they're spending on, they're looking for value, they're looking for choice, but that's not stopping them from traveling, from enjoying time with their family, from creating moments that matter. And that's why events like this, for us, sit at the intersection of their interests and their passions. So for us, this is a perfect blend, as I said, a perfect intersection of technology, sports, and commerce.
So as we mentioned, you're the President of the Americas. You oversee the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. I have to ask, what trends are you seeing since we started seeing the tariff threats from the president and now tariffs enacting? Has that changed consumer habits either in the U.S. or Canada or Mexico?
Well, Frank, it's still too early to see the impact that tariffs may have on our economy. What we are really focused on at Mastercard is ensuring great experiences for consumers and for businesses, and ensuring that our products work across the 150 million locations where we're accepted in the 220 countries and territories.
I know you mentioned it's too soon to perhaps see the long-term impacts, but just this week we got the ISM Manufacturing Index, and in there, when it came to business spending, we're seeing higher prices. We're seeing companies respond to tariffs, or the threat of tariffs at least, because that's a backwards-looking report. Obviously, your company also works with a lot of businesses. Are you seeing any shifts in how businesses are responding to tariffs, or how they're handling their spending or use of credit?
Yeah, still too early to tell, Frank. We'll monitor the situation very, very closely. Of course, we'll stay nimble. We'll work with consumers and with businesses to ensure that they can weather any changes in the macroeconomic environment. But at this point, still too soon.
All right, still too soon, but you do have experience from the previous trade war, from the first Trump administration. It was a few years ago. Do you see the potential for any of the same trends playing out this time around? And if so, what are they?
Yeah, it's hard to tell, Frank. We have to see how, we have different economic climate. I will say the fundamentals of the economy right now are strong. We see unemployment low. We see continued real wage growth. So the fundamentals are quite strong now, different conditions from several years ago, and we'll see how this all plays out.
Can I talk about your business for a second? With the idea of higher prices, either from inflation or tariffs, we've seen more and more people using credit. Is that a tailwind for your business, the idea of tariffs, whether it be business customers or consumer customers responding to higher prices? Do you see them just potentially needing to use credit more?
Well, what I'd say is, no one benefits from inflation. Consumers lose, small businesses lose, and for us, our business thrives when consumers and small businesses are thriving. So for us, we're all about, again, preserving the experience for consumers and businesses, ensuring that they can continue to conduct business digitally and in a cross-border way with the best, most cutting-edge technology and safety and security tools on the planet. So we are here in support of our customers, of consumers, and of merchants as they weather any macroeconomic conditions.
You, of course, are in the payments business, but this week it's a big week for earnings from retailers. Target was one of the big ones today, but throughout the rest of the week we're going to see others report. I want to go back to consumer spending. You're saying people are spending more on experiences. When it comes to goods spending, where are you seeing consistent spending or spending that's comparable to what we saw before the pandemic?
We're continuing to see strong spend across the board. When you look at our January spending pulse results from our Mastercard Economics Institute, January retail sales were as expected. So we're really seeing continued strength in the consumer. As I said, a consumer that's nimble, that's engaged, and that is choiceful. Linda, I do have to ask you, a lot of times we're hearing about the consumer being stretched. A lot of debt, concerns about inflation, and now concerns about these tariffs. While consumer spending has been strong up to this point, do you see any kind of breaks in what we've seen in previous months and the previous year? And also, what you're saying, does it differ when we're talking about higher-end consumers and lower-end consumers? Well, the beauty of our products and solutions is we have offerings for to meet consumers where they are in their consumer life cycle and their journey. Everything from prepaid and debit products to affluent credit products, as well as products to support small businesses. So from our perspective, we can meet consumers wherever they are. And again, we can help them weather any changes in macroeconomic conditions. And so for us, this is an opportunity to lean in, to provide support and to leverage the power of the cutting-edge innovation and safety security tools that we can bring to the ecosystem to prevent consumers and businesses from fraud, which is, at the moment, something that's a real challenge.
Right. You have so much insight into the consumer and consumer data. When we're talking about the consumer that's choiceful, and also very mindful about where they're spending their money, but also spending more on experiences. I do want to ask again, when we're talking about higher end consumers and lower end consumers, are there certain trends that are playing out differently between those two segments? We often talk about the bifurcation of the consumer.
Yeah, I think what the trends that we're seeing across the board, whether it's consumers that are at the beginning stages of their digital payments journey or the more affluent consumer, we're seeing three consistent themes: nimble, engaged, and choiceful. That's irrespective of where they are in their journey. And experiences, again, is something that resonates across. So these are consistent themes that we've seen month after month, quarter after quarter, and that's reflected in our results.
And when it comes to tariffs, what do you see being the longer term impact? I know it's too soon to know right now what the impact is, but longer term, what do you see as the potential impact when it comes to consumer spending, not only in the U.S., but the other areas that you oversee, Mexico and Canada?
Yeah, it really is too soon to tell, Frank. We have to monitor the situation and, of course, be nimble and flexible and adjust our business and ensure that our customers are equipped to manage through and weather the storm as well. Across U.S., Canada, and Latin America, again, we are seeing a consumer that's traveling, that's resourceful, that is eager to spend on experiences. And again, that ties back to our philosophy around our sponsorship, assets and portfolio, and where we're choosing to make big investments. And I will say, just in we touched on fraud, just as a follow-on to that conversation. As payments have become more digitized, so too have fraudsters and cybercrime. Cybercrime is expected to reach $14 trillion by 2028. So what we're laser focused on at Mastercard is investing in cutting edge tools and technologies and services to prevent fraud before it happens. Over the past 7 years alone, we invested $10.5 billion. We just bought the largest threat intelligence company in the world, which supports governments and merchants and banks. And we anticipate leveraging that technology to help consumers and to help our customers prevent fraud before it happens. So for us, this is the way in which we help consumers stay resilient, businesses stay resilient throughout anything that they may face over the coming months and years.
So what is the fraud landscape right now and the cybersecurity landscape right now when we're looking at U.S. businesses and also U.S. consumers? Well,
cyber criminals are quite active. And again, $14 trillion of cyber theft by 2028. If it were an economy, it'd be the third largest economy in the world. So as they become more sophisticated, so do we. Mastercard is as much a security company as we are a payments company right now. And again, for us, staying ahead of these trends and investing in this innovation is a top priority for us.
Linda Kirkpatrick, enjoy your day down there in Orlando at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Thank you so much for your time. Linda Kirkpatrick, President of the Americas for Mastercard, thank you again. Thank all of you for watching CNBC.com. I'm Frank Holland, anchor of Worldwide Exchange. Have a great day.